So let's take a look and see this JavaScript in action. I opened up my Firebug and I'm looking in PullQuote JavaScript, so you can see where I can drop this down, and I pick my PullQuote JavaScript. Move down to the very bottom and I put a breakpoint on add event. And then I redid the page and I could see where my breakpoint stopped right on the add event. So as I step through, the first thing it does is add the event function, and then it goes up into the init function, which is what we want to look at. The browser's first going to check to see if it's capable of doing these things by checking the DOM, setting up some variables, and then it's going to look for all the span tags. So here it's saying get all the span tags from the page. Now here's a quick look on how this is going to look. The browser is going to find two span tags. It's going to find this one right here, and I added in the element 0 just so you can see how this is an array of span tags. So I found the two span tags on the page, and I'll go through, and now if I look at array elements, you can see here the two span tags. And if I look at, then the program's going to use regular expressions, and it's going to look for a match with PullQuote. And so it's basically going to look through here through the element, and it's going to look for a character match to see if PullQuote. If it is, then it's going to use this. Otherwise, it's going to ignore it. So that's how we just handle specific classes. So we use that regular expression, and if that regular expression matches right here, so we'll go on to the next step. So if we have our match, then we're going to build a whole new element using create element called the block quote. So we're going to create block quote, and here we can see where we saved it as block quote. So I'm going to open up block quote, and we'll watch as this builds up. We're going to create a new class name using the old class name, so now it's block quote with a class name of PullQuote. And then we're going to create a paragraph. Here you can see our paragraph. And we're going to add in our paragraph, we're going to add our text. So in this case, for this first one, we're going to add this text. Or if we go back at our temporary memory, you can see we're going to add this text into our block quote. So basically, we've built a new block quote. We added our text in as inside our paragraph, and then we're going to basically append our paragraph and move it right inside of our block quote like this. We're not going to do it, the browser's going to do it. And then it's going to there's where we append our paragraph, and then we're going to insert it before the span tag. So we're going to put it right before our PullQuote. So first, if we look at our HTML, and as soon as I step through this, and we go back and look at our HTML, you can see now we have our block quote with a paragraph inside of it, and it's right before where the span comes in. Now we're not done yet because we have two of these, so we're going to go through, check regular expression, make sure it matches. We're going to do the same thing, only this time we're going to use the second one. So we're going to use this text right here. We go through the same process, and we added the paragraph in, and if we look at our HTML, this is getting a view of the DOM. Then you can see, oh, I might have to go one more step. And now you can see at the bottom where we have our second block quote with the longer paragraph inside of it. So we have a block quote up here and then one down near the bottom of the page. And then if you look at the page, I'll just go ahead and run. And here's the block quote at the first part of the page that relates to this span. And here's the block quote at the bottom of the page that relates to this span. Now, the reason it's over here on the left is just due to CSS. So we've styled it, we've colored it, we put borders on it, and we told it to float left. And so that gives us our display as opposed to the text that's embedded in the span tags.